It started with a text that made the room spin. I was sitting at the kitchen table, half-finished dinner in front of me, when my phone buzzed. It was from my wife. "Claire, I don't feel like talking tonight." No explanation. No hint of what was wrong. Just those 6 words that somehow hit harder than a punch. I stared at the screen for a long moment, heart thudding in my chest. At first, I thought maybe she was tired, stressed from work. But then came the missed calls and the quiet withdrawals. She'd smile at me in passing, but conversations felt like pulling teeth. I asked, gently at first, if something was bothering her, if I had done something wrong. She would shrug, give vague answers, or retreat into silence. The subtle signs had been there for weeks. Her phone always face down, her late nights at the office that didn't quite add up, the way she flinched when I reached for her hand. And I kept questioning myself. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe I was too sensitive. Then came the company party, the annual gathering where everyone celebrated with drinks, laughter, and the occasional forced cheer. Claire insisted on going, though she'd been distant all week. I wanted to trust her, to believe that this was just a rough patch. But the unease I had felt for weeks had settled in my bones like a cold weight. I arrived early, hoping to maybe catch a glimpse of her and offer some reassurance. She was already there, her laugh a little too loud, her hand brushing against a male coworker in a way that made my stomach churn. I told myself I was overreacting, that I was imagining the intimacy in those small gestures. Hours passed. Claire drifted further from me, her eyes constantly checking her phone, her body leaning toward others rather than me. I tried to talk, tried to pull her aside, but every attempt was met with polite deflection or curt responses. It was as if she had built a wall around herself, a wall I couldn't penetrate. And then, quietly, I realized what I had to do. If she had shut me out, if she was no longer present in our marriage, even physically but especially emotionally, then I would do the same. Not publicly, not with dramatics. I didn't want to embarrass her or myself. I just withdrew. I stopped reaching, stopped trying to engage. I moved to the party like a shadow, silent and detached, letting her world continue without me. It wasn't long before she noticed. A sharp glance, a puzzled smile, and then avoidance. I didn't chase her. I let the truth hang in the space between us. I wasn't hers to ignore anymore. Later that night, as we walked the car, she finally spoke. "Why were you so cold?" she asked, a hint of guilt in her voice. I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time in weeks, I spoke clearly. "Because you've been cold to me for weeks, Claire. You've built walls, kept secrets, and ignored me. I just mirrored it. I wanted you to feel what it's like to be shut out." Her eyes filled with tears, and she tried to explain. "I didn't mean to push you away. I was scared, overwhelmed. I thought I was protecting you from my own mess." I nodded, letting her words wash over me. I understood the human complexity, the guilt, the fear, the justifications. But understanding didn't erase the pain. It didn't make up for the nights spent questioning my worth, the subtle betrayals that cut deeper than any dramatic scene ever could. That night, we didn't fight. There were no raised voices, no accusations, just quiet reflection, the raw truth laid bare between us. And I realized something crucial. Sometimes love isn't enough to fix the walls people build around themselves. Sometimes protecting yourself means walking away, even if only emotionally at first. In the days that followed, we spoke more honestly than we had in months. Some things were resolved, some weren't. And in that space, I found something I hadn't felt in a long time: self-respect, the ability to recognize my worth, to hold boundaries, and to refuse to be ignored. I learned that night that love can be complicated, messy, and even painful. But I also learned that silence, when wielded wisely, can be as powerful as confrontation. That walking quietly, with dignity, sometimes speaks louder than shouting. And though the memory of her shutting me out still stings, the memory of my quiet response reminds me of something even more important: that I deserve to be seen, to be heard, and to be respected. Always,